to some more building of the IQR Mountain Mod. Come check this out. Got a bunch of little things to do here. Odds and ends to tidy up. Of course, like always, got to get into these carbs today, see what is in there for jetting. I kind of have a baseline of where I'm going to start. I need to set up these new valves because the 600 and the 800 are a lot different. Bigger piston, right? So that's what we're going to do right now. Tidy up odds and ends, but we're going to try to get that darn snowmobile together as fast as we can. These gaskets. This stuff here, lots of parts and pieces. Now these are the springs. I even had to change the springs. Different colors. We'll mix those up. Put these here. And I'll put on the things that I know I'm going to have to install on this beast. There's some work going on in the shop. Simon's working away at the back. Got to keep him busy. Got a lot of stuff to do. Broke one of my other snowmobiles yesterday. Had a pretty hard landing. I had a pretty hard landing. Snowmobile landed not too bad. Kind of hurt myself. I'm getting old. I hurt easily. Right on, right on, right on. Right on. Now, there's one of these. I need another one of those. Fuel pump. Oh, I know what I did with it. I had it on the snowmobile. Right on. Okay. Get cloth. Clean up the inside of these. These only had one race on them. Doesn't take long to get these pretty dirty, right? All that exhaust stuff going in there. Want it to be nice and clean when we put it together. It's got to look good. One. This here's not bad at all. Now this has some kind of a exhaust solenoid set up. We're going to cap these off. We're not going to use that. Why? Because that's what I've been told to do. I'm doing what I'm told. It's the way I roll. Now I need these little studs were screwed into this guillotine, they call it, because it comes down and chops off heads. But you have to heat them up when you're using that Loctite. That's how I got that out. So I'll get rid of this. And I just need some Loctite. Put this new guillotine together. Now this one I'm using the red Loctite because that's what was on it to hold this in. And man, whoopsie. Stud is a different size. That's no good. Okay. Ixnay on the stud, eh? And that's what happens when you're trying to do something like this. You run into issues like that. This will work on the 600, but not on the 800. And you can see how I run into these little problems where now I have to call Polaris, get them to order that behind schedule another 3 days. Now I could probably make that, but I'm just going to order the proper part for it. Okay. So you guys off to the side. Let's take a look at the carbs. Take a look and see what they've got for jetting in here. No jets. These came with the sled. I've got to run 480s in them to start till I know what's going on. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be one in there. Good thing I looked in there. I need a bunch of other parts too. The floats are gone. All those parts are missing. Good to know. So, make a list of those. So far we're euchred today. Now, I'm gonna see if I can get a spark out of this. Before I really start to box it in, box the sides in. Let's see if we get ourselves a little spark when I pull it over. That's important. Then I'm gonna put the hoses together, and we're gonna put the sides on, then we're gonna run this out to Jaws so he can do his magic. There we go. That's for the EGT. I don't need that right now. Very good. This is for the coil. Looked like it was ripped right out of there. I need to put some wires on there. And engine harness. Good. For temperature. I forget what you're for. All right. I'm just going to get a spark plug and a wire to hook on there. Hold on. Run, tether's on. I have not pulled this over. Anything? Spark?
Saw one.
Yeah?
Yep.
Let me see here. I just can't see it myself. I want to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Okay, lights on. Well, that's a good sign. We have spark. Has a well nut behind it, and that's just a rubber, what would you call it? It's like a rubber plug with a little nut inside it. So when you squeeze it together with your ratchet, it squishes the well nut and it pulls it together on both sides of a piece of metal and sets it into place. Polaris are very popular or very well known for using these. A lot of other manufacturers don't use them anymore. They act as a vibration damper for a piece of electronic hardware, such as this coil. There we go. Nice and solid. I'll put my plugs back in because I don't want anything moved around. Actually, you know what? We won't. Right now, we are going to deal with hooking up the cooling system, which is a little tricky, but we're going to do it. Shouldn't need a hand. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. There we go. Now I'm going to use this hose. Got to put a clamp on there. That is on there. Done. Nice. Got that in. I don't think I have to do anything more to this motor at this point, so it can go in the sled and stay there. Or at least it can go in now, and when I figure out what I've missed and forgotten, I can take it out later on. Because that happens. It's actually surprising how light this motor is compared to some of the other motors. It's not that bad. Don't know why. I want to do this before I forget. Got my thermostat. I've got the proper gasket for it. Right here. Put that in. There's only one way to put this thermostat. Won't go in that way. It's got to go this way. That goes there. This goes here. In there. Done. I'll put these plugs in loosely just for now because I don't want anything falling inside there. This one's close, but not too bad. I know this part of the harness here goes underneath the motor to the front. This is for the headlight. I'm just going to put this up here for now. Steering's tight. That's good. Now we'll buckle in the motor mounts. Starting to connect those hoses now. It's always a good thing. It's always hard to get a dry hose onto one of those fittings. So I use Evans and everything, as you guys know. I love this stuff. And I am just going to lube this up with it. It'll help it slip on a lot easier. I've already got that clamp on there, you can see. Come check that out right from here, John. Maybe for more. I went with a hose clamp on here, like a screw type, if you will. I couldn't get the other kind on. I could have if I really jammed it in there, but it would have been brutal to get off if I needed to do it eventually in the future. So I went with that one. Make my life easier because I know what's going to happen eventually. I just know these things. Get these engine mounts mounted. These nuts put on here. Yeah. If we're lucky, we get the sled out to Jaws tomorrow. That'll be an awesome thing. You know, I looked and there were no washers that go under these nuts. That's it, Tommy. Things are going in, so I hope I don't have to take any or do any more work underneath that motor. There's one other pipe I have to put on, or a hose. I can access that, no problem. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so the motor goes in and out pretty easy, but these nuts, not so much. Bit of a pain in the butt. Pretty darn tight. I'm sure the race boys have a trick to this. But I don't. I have to sort of mess around a little bit. I'm going to have to use some splicing to make things work. There's no piping that I can find on a sled that is going to work for this application. Well, we got to do what we got to do to make it work, right? Turn that down there like that. A little tighter. Go. Back on there. That's going to go into here. This comes out from the bottom. Sweet. I'll block this port off and the other one for the throttle body heat. We don't need that. Now this is a little tricky. Right down here is where this running board cooler comes. And I have to install this now. I cannot do it later on because there's no way I'll be able to get it on with the belly pan in here. So I have no choice. Oh, you're tight. It would have been my preference. It would have been my preference if they'd extended that out another 2 inches. Then I could have done whatever I needed to. But that's the way it goes. When you call Van Amberg, make sure that they do that for you. I mean, it's not very hard to drop the side off anyway if I really need to get into it. It's only about 6 or 7 rivets. But who wants to do that? Now I've got to come from the brake, because this is a cooled brake, down to here. It's got to come. I don't want it too close to that brake. I want to have it come out and across and down. There's also going to be a pipe in here, so we're going to protect it somehow. Not quite sure how yet. We're going. I need a pretty good selection here. These all go the wrong way. You fatties. Got this nice little curved part. It's off an MXZ. Don't tell anybody. I hate to do all this splicing, but that's the nature of it, this build. Some guys have some nice stainless steel braided lines. I'll probably go with something like that when I have more time. We got to get this in to get the pipe made. We're on a schedule. And the season's closing down on us, so we got to hurry. on. So now you, nice new section of line. There we go. I'm not going to attach this right yet until, well, you know what, we can. Take a bit more off there. Better put the clamps on. I'm pretty sure a lot of this is going to have to come out. I just want it in right now for that pipe fitment. I don't really like the look of it too much. A little dirty looking. But it'll do the trick for now. There we go. All right. I'm going to get this side panel on. Just kind of put it loosely into place, and then I have to get the a silicone sealant in there. As per the racing instructions, they tell you got to seal everything up or the water and the roost and the snow get blasted inside your sled. Oh, here, Tommy. And they're big gaps. I mean, this side. And it will come blasting in. And when I took it off, there was, when I got into these body panels here, there was a lot of this stuff just gopped all over the place. I want to keep the water off the clutches and everything else. On this side over here, Tom. I'm being pretty generous. Oh, look at that. I'm waiting for my black rivets to come in, so what I'll do is I'll just paint the top of these here with some magic marker or something like that. It has to look good because this is going to be featured in a couple magazines next year. It'll look good. I've got a couple engine supports I want to put in, kind of like torque mounts, if you would. Probably should have maybe put this one on before I put the motor back in, but that's the way she goes. On this side, it's going to be a little trickier to run this coolant hose. I don't know the routing yet because I don't have my clutches installed and I don't have the body panel on. So I'm just going to run this hose more or less like this, and then we're going to see where everything has to go. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to put this into place and I'm going to put my silicone on there. Seal it up. And this side I really want to make sure I'm careful about because this is where my clutches are. And if they're going to get, if you want to keep water out of one thing, it'd be your clutches. A lot of you are saying that I don't have very much travel in this front suspension. Well, that's what happens when you narrow your stance. But something tells me it's going to be just fine. Looks darn good is what it does. My little coolant trick. Whenever you're putting grommets or anything rubber, connecting hoses, soapy water, depending on what you're doing, soapy water or, in this case, coolant, works awesome. Here. I know what you're saying, Tom. You're thinking that I screwed up.
I was thinking.
Cameraman was thinking, oh, he didn't put the clamp on first. But I opened the clamp up. Sneaky. Looking good. I haven't bought a new coolant bottle yet, just because I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with the coolant bottle and the way everything's gonna hook up. So, right now, that's the way she is. And I have a bracket here. Is that the right bracket? That holds the bottle on. So I'm probably gonna hook that up right now. That requires a screw that comes in behind. The paneling here. Oh, I've got one of those. And my box of parts. Looks good. Put the other side on. You can get it from there, Tom. There's lots of venting in here. I'm going to put some mesh in there. Keep the snow out, otherwise it's just going to fall right in the powder. Well, that's no good. Got broken. Looking not bad. Looking a little dusty. Got some shelf dust on it. Got to put my tack on. Got to get it and do my clutches. Waiting for a couple other components to arrive. Clean some things up. Whoa. Right on. Looking good. I got to thank you guys for coming by today. Baby steps, as they say, but you know what? Actually, we got a lot done today. I have to order some more parts, of course, for the carburetor, a bunch of other things. And stay tuned, more coming. Make sure you check out C3 Power Sports for their synchro drive. It's awesome. I use it on everything, every sled I can get. One of those synchro drives go into it. Big changes, big advantages to having it. This IQR is going to love it. Thanks for watching.
You to come, I'll make it impossible.